you.
I'd also like to point out some key elements I want to hear from you, from your group. Okay, in each section, so I want to go through again. For the introduction section, first of all, I like to know the context, including the keywords or the setting, okay? And especially for business and our academic setting. Is it important or not for your research? So first, I want to know your context, and then because you have some key variable, key concept, you have to introduce to the audience. So what does that mean based on the literature? For example, customer satisfaction. What does customer satisfaction mean in the literature? You have to introduce your key idea to the audience. Okay. Now, third one is identification research gap. It means there's something we don't know, not yet. So we need to do research and to try to fill the gap or try to find the answer. So after the gap, we raise maybe one or two research questions, one or two, maybe one is okay. So articulate the research purpose and base the research question. That's example. This study aim, this is the purpose, to explain how is a research question, how the independent variable affect dependent variable through mediation mechanism. Of course, if you don't have any mediator, you can skip that part. And then overview the study theoretical or practical reference. So highlight the contribution that you properly will propose in your research. So that's the key idea in introduction section. And about the lecture review or section 2. This is your theoretical background. In the section 1 introduction, you try to fill a gap and raise a question so that you want to answer the question, research question, by generate hypothesis. But hypothesis has to based on the theory. So in the second section, literature review is the theoretical background or literature review. And hypothesis development. You generate your hypothesis through literature review. So we have to discuss the theory and construct related to the topic, related to your research topic, the first one. And sometimes you need to synthesize. Maybe there's some different perspective related to your research topic. You have to synthesize as a whole or as an integration. And then, of course, we can try to focus on the conceptual or methodological gap. We fill the gap in the section 1. Of course, here we can highlight what kind of gap we want to address. We want to try new techniques. For example, SEM or HLM is different techniques. Can test the hypothesis. It will belong to the methodological gap. But for you propose a mediator or moderator, maybe just a conceptual or theoretical gap. So you can clarify again. And then the next one will be if you have applied more than one theory. Suppose you have two theories, you have to combine two theories together, so you have to integrate. Try to articulate, that's a practice. Combine two theories to form a foundation for your hypothesis. Okay, so you have to integrate two theories. And of course, you have to present your research framework. It's a whole picture about your hypothesis. It's a whole picture, research framework. So this will be section 2, literature review. And maybe for some people, the methodological part is very difficult because we not learn all the techniques in statistics, right? So we're not pretty sure what kind of techniques I can apply to analyze my data, but it's okay, it's practice. I will give you some suggestion, maybe not today, maybe next week. So in method section, we have to set the reason. We have to specification research design. Research design, it means what kind of approach we adopt. Quantitative approach, like survey or experimental design is quantitative. Or we like to adopt qualitative, like a case study or interview. Okay, this is the second approach. Or we want to adopt mixed type. We want to combine qualitative and quantitative both. So you have to justification means give a reason why we think we adopt a specific approach is appropriate for our research. Try to do that justification, provide a reason. And of course, we want to study, we have to determine who will be our target or participant. So, participant or sample strategy. I guess maybe most of you will adopt non-probability sample, right? It's a convenient way to collect data. And after that, we need the measurement or scales or instrument to measure the concept in our research model. So, operational definition for all the variable, independent variable, mediating or operating variables. You don't have to highlight a control variable. Let me say it again. If you have control variable in your research, you don't have to measure to highlight how you measure the control variable. That's not critical part. Okay, about the plan for analyzing data. Okay, I think this one is quite typical for you. Should I apply regression? Should I apply ANOVA test or chi-square test? You just, based on your understanding, you just propose one. Maybe I'll give you some suggestions. The last part will be an ethical consideration. It's optional. Address the ethical procedure. You want to protect individual privacy. You will not disclose any individual information. Okay. So it's kind of ethical consideration in the method section. Okay. About presentation time, I don't have any limitation. We just try to practice. If we cannot finish our presentation today, we will keep doing that. So relax, just practice. Let me know what kind of idea you want to tell us. Okay? No limitation. So the next, probably I will use the random selection. Or you maybe can say, I want to be a volunteer, I want to be the first one. You can raise your hand. Or choose by the computer. Okay? Okay, random selection, that's good. Okay? You want to random selection or you want to? It's okay? Okay, okay. Okay, random selection. Let's see. The first group. The speaker have to come to the stage. And I already prepared this computer here. You can just open your file and share the screen. Share the screen. That's okay. So, please, the first group. The stage is yours. Don't be nervous. Just have fun. Open and share screen. You know how to share screen? Yeah.
How do I share screen?
You don't know how to share screen?
Yes.
Okay. Open here. So, join and share. This one is share. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Then you can switch back to your stuff. Okay. Please zoom in, make it bigger. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay. You can use microphone if you like. Just right here.
Hello everyone.
Did you turn on your microphone? Turn on? Yeah, turn on.
Hello.
Yes, good.
Okay, hello everyone. We are from Group 2 and we consist of Joey, Lilin, and Nidhi. Hi, and our title is The Influence of Financial Literacy and Motivation on People's Cryptocurrency Behavior. So have you ever been involved in cryptocurrency? No, but do you know about it? Yes. Okay. So cryptocurrency has been very famous, right? The growth has transformed financial world by providing alternatives to traditional forms of money. So digital currencies such as Bitcoin and Ethereum has gained a lot of attention. And a lot of individuals are now increasingly drawn in the cryptocurrency market. However, cryptocurrency investment is very volatile and it has a lot of risk. Therefore, it often attracts participants with limited financial literacy, and there are people who are motivated by factors beyond financial understanding. So it means that there are a lot of people that goes into cryptocurrency investing without actually knowing a lot about the cryptocurrency literacy, but they are more motivated on their own motivation. So that is according to Arias Olivia. And what is financial literacy? It refers to the ability to understand and effectively use financial concepts to make informed decisions. And motivation, particularly in self-determination theory, which is the theory that we use in our research, play a critical role in explaining financial behavior, in explaining why people invest in cryptocurrency even though they don't know a lot about it. So, according to Betty and Ryan, motivation includes two. There are intrinsic motivation, which arises from genuine interest and enjoyment. And there are external motivation, which drives from rewards, such as profits or social recognition. Some people want to look cool doing crypto. And both forms of motivation, intrinsic and extrinsic, can influence how individuals approach cryptocurrency. Therefore, within the business management field, these factors provide crucial insight into why people make financial decisions in digital financial behavior. Despite growing research, there are a lot of research already about financial literacy and motivation, but in traditional investment setting where they use actual money instead of cryptocurrency. Therefore, there remains a gap in understanding, especially the social factors, which is social influence. So why social influence? Why do we research about social influence? In digital investment community, a lot of the attraction comes from discussion, endorsement, and trends, right? It comes from extrinsic factor, and it spreads rapidly. Therefore, in cryptocurrency community, the social influence can significantly moderate how financial literacy and motivation translate into behavior intention. So this suggests that investment decision in cryptocurrency are not solely individual. They are affected by social constructs such as peer opinions or collective opinions. So based on these considerations, this study aims to examine the influence of financial literacy, intrinsic motivation, extrinsic motivation, as I said before, and social influence towards cryptocurrency, with social influence as the moderating variable. And this study will contribute to the integration to self-determination theory within the domain of financial behavior and digital investment. And the findings of this study practically can offer valuable insight to financial educators, policymakers, fintech organizations, and design strategies to enhance financial literacy and improve informed decision in digital asset markets so that people can make informed decisions more.
Okay, to support our research problem finding and also the statement from the introductions, we do the literature review, which is we support our statement using the theoretical review and also the empirical review, which is the research from previous researchers. So for the first one is the financial literacy, which is really important for behavioral intentions. We found the finding from research from Kaplan study, PANOS 2012, which is state that financial literacy can increase confidence in financial management and also enhance the individual's readiness to make investment decisions. And another study from the Simanjuntak 2020, they also state that the same result, just on different participants. They also emphasize that understanding financial principle also can form stronger behavioral intention to invest. So we propose our first hypothesis as financial literacy has a positive effect on behavioral intentions on cryptocurrency, because the previous research also support for this hypothesis. And for the second one is intrinsic motivations, which is also as a key internal, which is drive the influence of individual behavior intentions by stimulating self-initiated engagement in activities. So, based on the self-determination theory, the intrinsic motivations is defined as engaging in tasks for inherent satisfactions, personal interest, or enjoyments. And it says when individuals experience intrinsic motivations, they are more likely to internalize and sustain behavior because the action fulfills the physiological needs for autonomy and competence, like Didi said before. The intrinsic motivations also affect the significant motivations to determinant of investment making decisions. It's also supported by previous research from Putri Simanjuntak 2013 and also Zhang et al. 2025. This indicates that individuals who find personal satisfactions in learning or experimenting with investment are more in line to act and more and more intense to invest. So our hypothesis 2 proposed is intrinsic motivation has a positive effect on behavioral intentions toward cryptocurrency. And the next one is the extrinsic motivations also plays a crucial influence in behavioral intentions. And from the previous study from Alzheimer 2021 that said that intrinsic motivation significantly influence student investments. And also another study also will support our third hypothesis, which is state that stronger behavioral intentions and motivates individuals to invest is cryptocurrency. So, our proposed hypothesis 3 is extrinsic motivations has a positive effect on behavioral intentions as well. And this part, which is the moderating variable, social influence, and this one is become our strong interest from this research because social influence not only influence the behavioral intentions in another investment, but in another investment. So that's why we also include this variable in our research because it's interesting research and also supported by previous research, which is said that social influence has been shown to directly act behavioral intention, particularly in the context of technology and financial adoptions. Also, this highlights how social endorsement and peer norm enhance the behavioral intention by reducing uncertainty and creating a sense of affiliations. So, our hypothesis is yes, social influence moderates the relationship between the financial literacy and behavioral intention. But before that, we also have support for the moderating role of social influence. They also affect the positive impact on financial knowledge, which means that social influence not only have a negative impact, but sometimes it also influence our positive knowledge in financial literacy. Therefore, our 5 hypothesis is social influence moderate the relationship between intrinsic motivation and behavioral intentions, and also they moderate the relationship between intrinsic motivation and behavioral intentions. As you can see in our research model, it's really clear where we research how the independent variable influence the dependent variable, and how the moderating variable moderate independent variable towards the dependent variable.
Since our main variable are about people attempt, solve, and intention with psychological, we use quantity approach to connect data. So first, this approach let us test our design idea with many participants, making our result more reliable and easier to apply to raw group. Our target group is Taiwanese adult age 18 and above, who have less some basic knowledge of interest and career path.
Participation. In cryptocurrency.
We plan to connect responsible with male online community in Taiwan, such as PTT Finance, Fraud, DCAP, and Career Port, actually social media group. Since crypto community is decentralized, and therefore we will use continuous sampling methods to improve response quality. Participants will be offered some small financial reward, such as utilitarian gift for features and will be informed the service is continuous and used only for academic and work purposes. The data cleaning will last about 4 weeks and ensure we have enough responsible to our and before realizing the data, we will carefully review all the responses and any incomplete research pattern or inconsistent answer or response too quickly will be removed. Our goal is to connect around 350 responses, aiming for the less 300 variant one. Our variables are measured using multiple items like type scale to ensure like reliability and fidelity. All items will use the 7-point Likert scale and running for 1 to 7. And the main construction, including the financial literacy and exchange motivation and extrinsic education and social influence and behavior intention. And we will analyze the data using the PLS SEM with the Smart PLS 4.0 software. And before testing our hypothesis, we first make sure measurement model is both reliability and fidelity. And for the reliability, we use the compass alpha and the composite reliability with the conceivable value of 0.7 above, meaning the items is consistently. Mean sure the same concept for reliability or reliability. We check both can be configured and discriminate reliability. And since measurement model is confirmed, we move on to test our hypothesis. We use both bootstrap with 5,000 resample to examine the past confusion, V value and P value, which tell us where each hypothesis is support. And next, we test our model and act of social influence by creating interaction teams between the social influence and the important variable.
Okay, that's all from our presentations.
Okay, thank you. You get back to your seat. Okay, good job. Okay. Okay, the internet is a little bit slow. Okay, maybe. Okay.
Maybe because we still.
I already tried to share my screen. Okay. Stop sharing. Share my screen. Okay, share my screen again. Okay, I will read your document more detail after the class. But based on your your brief presentation, I can give you a few feedback. We can take a look at the title here. Easy to identify what is our key concept in the literature. In this, for example, financial literacy and cryptocurrency behavior, of course, and we have the motivation. But in fact, in the research framework, we still have a moderator called social influence. Sometimes we have to just show the key variable, key concept in the title, including the social influence as a moderator. We can try to modify later. Okay. So you can see here the dependent variable is behavior, cryptocurrency behavior. But I have mentioned before, it's not easy to collect actual behavior data. So instead, we will study the intention. Of course, you study intention, but in the title, we call just behavior. But actually, we not collect behavior data, we collect intention, right? Okay, so we can make a little bit modification. The introduction, it's okay, it's good. Literature review. Because we already tried to generate hypothesis in the section 2, right? In section 2. So based on the theory or related literature to generate hypothesis, the subtitle, you can see here, the subtitle, financial literacy. After this one, you already proposed hypothesis 1. So I will suggest to use another term. For example, the financial literacy and cryptocurrency investment intention. So we will try to wait and see how you generate your hypothesis about financial literacy and cryptocurrency investment intention. And about the statement of hypothesis, we use the behavior intention all the way, of course, including the research framework but it's not very specific because you want to focus on cryptocurrency investment intention, right? You try to collect data, cryptocurrency investment intention as your dependent variable. So you maybe need to modify all of it. Okay. Of course, the section 2.2 on the relation between intrinsic motivation and cryptocurrency investment intention, so on and so forth. I think you can get my idea. And so on and so forth. Okay, the moderating role of social influence maybe can state the effect of social influence on the relationship between maybe financial literacy and crypto investment intention, something like that. So we can understand your focus will generate the hypothesis in this subsection. So, okay, the behavior intention, you try to be more specific. Okay, it's now 9:50. Well, I'd like to take a 10 minutes break, then I come back. Okay, let's keep discussing this article. We can learn something based on the class math report. Actually, we can read and learn something. The methodology part. Okay, research design. As I have mentioned before, research design is what kind of approach we would like to adopt in our research, quantitative or qualitative or mixed method. So we just provide our reason why we select or choose a specific approach as our research design. Our research design is cover everything, you know. Research design cover everything from the approach and then the target, including sampling method and measurement or data collection and so on and so forth. So research design is a big word, big term. Cover everything, right? So maybe you can rethink about the title here, 3.1 title, sampling. Okay, especially the section 3.2 and 2, sample size and data validity. How many data points should we collect? Based on our questionnaire, especially the question item or the indicator for the measurement scale. So some researchers suggest 10 times of our question item, not include demographic variable, not include 10 times. Okay. Operational definition, so like a scale. But we're not quite sure how many items in each scale. So maybe you can reconsider how many items to measure financial literacy, how many items or question items measure intrinsic motivation, and so on and so forth. Data analysis. Okay, you don't have to use this term, called method. You don't have to use this term. method. Method of still is a big word, a big terminology. Versus techniques. Okay. So data analysis belong to techniques, statistical techniques. Method is a kind of more big scope. For example, we have course called research method, right? Business research method. So method is a big word. In this section, we just refer to specific techniques we like to apply to analyze our data. Okay. So use techniques is enough. So you just skip method. Just say data analysis is okay. Okay. Measure model. Okay. Cronbach alpha, composite reliability. If we like to report a Cronbach alpha, maybe we don't actually need a measurement model. We just need a reliability analysis. We can perform Cronbach alpha in SPSS by using the reliability analysis. But measure model, we need to use factor analysis. Okay, got it? So we can separate the Cronbach alpha from the measurement model. Measure model, we will focus on the validity of construct. We will talk about that later, after the midterm report. Validity of construct. Okay. Measure model, validity of the construct. So we have to apply factor analysis, especially confirmatory factor analysis, or CFA for short. CFA. Structural model, okay, good for assessment or hypothesis testing. Okay, that's fine. Maybe you can refine or modify this content, especially the method section, after we have introduced some techniques. Okay, we will apply in the method section later in the future class. And the last one I would like to say is you probably can provide your questionnaire as appendix. So we need a questionnaire, including the announcement or the purpose of research, of this research, the purpose of your research. And the main part will be the measurement item or measurement scale. The last part, it's demographic variable, gender, education level, and so on and so forth. So we have three parts. The beginning is briefly introduce about your research as the first part. Okay. And then as your question on the top, the first part. Second part is your main body. How many measurement scale you will adopt in your research? For example, financial literacy and crypto investment intention, something like that. Okay, that's for group 2. Good job. So next group. Okay, I guess 6. Group 6. And I stop sharing. And then share the screen. Group 6. Okay, here you go.
open the Word.
Yeah, Word. Open the Word. Yeah, just click. Open.
This one. Just share it.
All right. Good morning, Professor and
morning.
friends. Good morning. So we are from Group 6. We're gonna present our midterm presentation, and our title for our proposal is "When Time Runs Out: Revealing the Impact of Online Stimuli on Perceived Value and Impulsive Buying." And it's a study case of e-commerce in Indonesia. So let's start from the introduction or the background.
Excuse me, make it bigger.
So-
Excuse me, make it bigger. Zoom in, make it bigger. Zoom in. Yeah. Okay, good. Thank you. Good.
Okay, so we know from the rapid growth in digital technology, so everything is changed right now, from the traditional to like digitalization. Especially over the past few years, the evolution of the e-commerce has shifted from the traditional online transaction to an immersive or real-time shopping experience. So one of the most transformative innovation in this field is like live streaming. So in here, according to Statista, the live streaming e-commerce industry in Southeast Asia is expected to exceed almost like 3.2 billion of USD. So this one is reflecting a rapid shift toward the interactive experience-based shopping behavior. And we know that in the live streaming, there's a lot of online stimuli, like visual appeal, flash sale, social interaction, and also the product information that they give into during the live streaming itself. So this stimuli strongly influence the customer perceived value, but the hedonic pleasure, excitement, and also like usefulness and also convenience. So all of this value often leads impulsive buying behavior, especially under the time pressure. For example, like during the flash sale or limited time deals that create a sense of urgency and emotional arousals. So in this proposal, there's 5 research objectives that we want to learn. The first one is to examine the impact of the live streaming on the consumer impulsive buying behavior in e-commerce environments. The second one is to investigate the influence of hedonic and utilitarian values on relationship between online stimuli and impulsive buying behavior. The next one is, in here we want to explore how the time pressure shapes the relationship between the perceived value and also impulsive buying behavior. And then to identify with online factors like visual appeal, social interaction, product information, or the flash sale that strongly encourage the consumer to make an impulsive buying or hedonism. And the last one is to provide insight into how a better understanding of perceived value and time pressure can help marketers to create more engagement.
Move to the next part in the theoretical background and also the hypothesis development. First of all, in this part, we will discuss about the induced buying behavior. First of all, as you guys know, the induced buying behavior is an unplanned shopping behavior triggered by external stimuli, lead the customer make a sudden and unexpected purchase decision, especially in the social media. It's not the social media, in the online platform, especially in the live stream. You know, when you see a lot of
external stimuli such as the visual appeal and also flash out or something like the trigger from the horse, so you can buy a lot of things without hesitation. And now, and next we want to discuss about the perceived value. Perceived value in here is not include. Is the multi-dimensional construct reflect the customer overall assessment of the utility and also worth of product services based on their perception, what receive server, what is given. And in the perceived value, we have two components. First of all is the hedonic value. Hedonic value representing the emotional pleasure and also enjoyment enhanced by engaging visual, interactive communication, and also entertaining luxury feature. Meanwhile, utilitarian value is mean the useful and also efficient, increased with the clear product information and also promotion benefit. Both value has been so strongly predicted in business brain, in online and also in the live stream content. Recent empirical study also highlight that the time pressure, such as the countdown or the limited time offer, intensity effect by increased urgencies and also emotional arousal, leading customer may make faster and like rational decision. And we want to, in this paper, we apply the SOR model, and you all already know about that. The SOR model explains the induced by behavior in live stream, where the stimulate as individual perception and all cognition, and also we call this organism. And the other outcome is response with the induced buying. And in this paper, we developed a hypothesis. First of all, this is our research model, and you see when the review in the literature review and several conceptual gaps become evident, more of existing research is that only one or two stimuli at the time and focus on the single perceptual percept value. It means not just only hedonic value or utilitarian value affect in the induced buying, but in our research we want to focus on the hedonic value and also utilitarian value at the same time, because you know, when you buy in the shopping, it's not just for the useful but also for the entertaining. And also the other gap, like in lack of contextual diversity, more of student work conducted in China's or Western country but in Indonesia we lack a lot of research about the live stream shopping. That's why we want to do this research in the Indonesian. And furthermore, previous study are mostly cross-section using self-report data, and so they cannot fully capture the dynamic emotion changing that occur during the live shopping. And especially you can see in the hedonic value, we put the flash sale. Something you guys know about the flash sale related to the product information or something, the product promotion, but in this case we put it in here flash sale because we think that, and we already found the evidence for that, the flash sale is not just related to the price is related to the entertaining, because when you see this price, it's more exciting and make you this is the trigger for you to buy the product at that time. The next part is All right, this is the last part regarding the research methodology. The first one, our research design, we employs the quantitative research, which is the survey-based method. We use causal explanatory research design because we use SOR framework, which is we analyze the cause and effect of this research. And moving on to the population example, the population we choose Indonesian customers for this study because they actually the biggest and the fastest growing e-commerce in Southeast Asia, so that's why we choose Indonesian customers. Moreover, we also categorize that these customers at least have 2 or twice transactions in e-commerce within a month. And moving on to the samples. So before that, we want to characterize the specific characteristic of our respondent. Before that, this is the characterizations that we want to show in our customers. The only respondent that we choose is that the first respondents that who have made purchase at least twice within a month. And the second one, they are the active user of e-commerce and actively purchase in e-commerce in Indonesia. And lastly, the minimum age is 18 years old because we believe that this age, they're already aware and have a specific awareness toward their purchasing. And moving on to samples, we use non-probability purposive sampling. We make sure that the one that suitable for our research will be the respondents, which is those 3 characteristics that we already explained to you. And in this sample, we use here theory, which is the samples at least have 5 or until 10 times of the indicators, which is the indicators of our research is 18 indicators, which is the minimum of our samples supposed to be 90 until 180 for the maximum. For the data collections, we collecting the data through online survey, which is the use of Google Forms, and then we try to distribute it again to the social media like Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, and other platforms because we believe that the e-commerce user also actively use this social media platform, so we want to maximize to reach out our respondent directly to the social media as well. And we use 5 Likert scale, which is from strongly agree until strongly disagree, to measure all the indicators of our variables. Moving on to the measurement of variables, this is the 18 indicators and also 9 variables that we use for our research, including visual appeals, flash sales, social interactional, product informations. Moving on, there is a perceived of use, hedonic value, utilitarian value, time pressure, and also impulsive buying. We only got 2 indicators for each construct. Moving on. And lastly, for the data analysis, we can erase the method here. So first, we use SAM PLS, which is the Smart PLS version 3.0. So we do some of the analysis here. The first, there is outer loading because in our research we also analyze the latent construct, which is the internal factors, the subjectivity of the individuals. So we need to do the outer loading to make sure that each indicator is actually valid at this point. And we also do like the composite reliability, FEE, and also combined alpha to make sure that each indicator is not overlapping for each variables, and each variables also consistent, and make sure all the questionnaires valid and reliable to be spread to the customers and respondent. And lastly, we also want to make sure that we also do multicollinearity and also CMP method itself, because we only use Google Form and one-way distribution for our questionnaires, which is can be have a lot of bias because it's kind of a cross-sectional study, right? Because it's only distributed one time, so we need to use TMB method in here and multicollinearity for our data analysis. So that's all. Thank you.
Please go back to the introduction section because you go through very quickly. I'm not quite can catch up your introduction. What is the research gap? Research gap or research problem in the introduction section? Okay. What is a research gap or research problem? In the extant literature, what is unknown? What is need to be addressed in the existing literature or prior studies?
For the research gap itself, I forgot to put it on the.
Put it on the
Yeah.
introduction.
Put it in the
Okay.
introduction.
So,
So I'm gonna revise it and.
okay, you can just discuss it.
Yeah.
How to clearly state the research gap in the introduction session because it's a trigger. It's a trigger means there's a gap. I need to fill the gap. And based on the gap, I can raise a research question. But of course, you can go through the research purpose, but sometimes I just get lost. What is your main theoretical perspective in the introduction section? Of course, you have introduced SOR model in the literature review section, right? But introduction section, did you mention any theoretical perspective you will adopt? Yes. No or not?
Yeah, we already used this.
Okay. SOR provide robust framework how online stimulate. Okay, good. Since our model we have stimulated I think 5 construct on your research model on your left hand side as a stimuli, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
For example, flash cells.
Yeah.
So, how can I capture the key idea? You already highlight the key variable or concept in the introduction section, like as flash cells, easy of use, right? Yeah, you also have an easy of use as your stimuli. But how can I find it in your introduction section? You have five independent variables.
The first one is visual appealing.
Appealing, okay. Social interaction, okay.
Flash
Here.
cell and
Flash
product.
cells, okay. Product information.
And the other here.
That's value. And okay. So we have 5 in construct here, and then you try to connect 5 construct to
Hedonic value.
perceived value, right?
Yeah. In the perceived value, we divide it 2 parts. This is first one is the hedonic value, and the other is utilitarian value. That's why in this part we also mention about this the perceived value in here, and the category hedonic value, and the other is utilitarian value.
Okay. Okay. Good. Now, the next, is there any gap between the 5 invented variable and 2 perceived value? Are there any gaps in the literature?
As I said before, normally in the gap between, they always put the flash cell in in the left-hand side related to the utilitarian value.
Utilitarian.
But in this research, I move it to the hedonic value. It's
Hedonic.
related to the enjoyment because I find some research. They say that cluster is not just for the promotion. A bright promotion related to the product can trigger about the aesthetic and also enjoyment of the buyer.
Okay.
And
What else?
and
Good.
the other because we drew in the live stream in the TikTok. That's
Yeah.
why the visual appeal is very important. And some of research said that it's not affect to the hedonic value because they always try to the other norm. I forgot it, but it's not the hedonic value. But I tried to connect it, and I already have the key paper about that. So I want to retake again about the relationship between the visual appeal to the hedonic value.
Okay.
And the other gap in this research is sometimes they already have the two elements of the perceived value in the hedonic value and also utilitarian value. But the result of this just only bias to one of this, the hedonic value or the utilitarian value. But in back to the background, the literature review, they also they already mentioned that both of these have the significance on the customer decision. So
Customer
in this research, I want to take it again.
Okay. So this introduction, is there any potential contribution to the literature
Yeah.
in your first section? Did you describe any potential contribution of this study?
Yeah, the contribution of this.
Yeah, potential contribution of this study in the first section? No, right?
No, in the first section. Right.
Okay, no. Yeah, that's good. I just have some clarification to understand. Is there any issue I can highlight here? So, you want to show me what?
The potential.
Potential contribution?
Yeah.
Where is it?
Yeah. The study aims to provide the both theoretical and practical.
Practical contribution?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To the field of digital marketing and show how the customer perceive and react to the online stimuli within the learning.
Okay, just briefly highlight. So that's a theoretical, also practical contribution.
Yeah.
Okay, it's very brief, very short. It's not easy to identify the potential contribution. Okay. Okay, so research question. Scroll up. Research question. So we have 5 research questions. Okay. No. Maybe you can try to use the research purpose to combine research objective and research question as one subsection. You don't have to separate research question and research objective. So I can understand. Okay, now scroll up. I will read more detail after the class. And, okay, scroll up here. Okay. The objective of 5, research objective 5. Scroll up.
5.
Yeah, 5.
5. Oh, 5.
Yeah, 5.
Okay.
Yes. To provide insight into how better understand the perceived value and time pressure can help marketers create more engaging, responsible online shopping experience. Hello, classmates, take a look here. And I want to highlight some key ideas here. For research objective or research purpose, I can see a lot of students trying to propose there's a purpose. We want to provide insight for managers as our research purpose. But actually, the researchers we can evaluate whether or not we can achieve after we finish our study. But the last part, we cannot make sure whether or not the manager will influenced by our research. We don't know that. So research purpose only focus on we can explore the relationship between variables, because you will test your hypothesis. Then we can check out the research purpose is achieved or was achieved after the study. So we can skip the last part, provide insight to who. Scroll down to behavior. Okay, because you introduced SOR in the very end, not at the beginning. Usually the theoretical perspective come first. Usually come first, because it's a guide you to identify variables. For example, guide you to find a variable about impulsive buying behavior, and guide you to find a variable perceived value. Guide you to find a variable about your live streaming, right? Characteristic. Yeah. So you have 5 variables belong to live streaming. No.
In this, the theoretical background, I just mentioned about the main keywords, such as all the theory, the SOR, and also the induced buying behavior. And the next is just I mentioned about the versus value, and I didn't mention about 5
independent variable. Yeah. Because your framework covered usually everything. For example, the ask stimuli. Actually, it can cover your 5 independent variables. Am I right? Yeah, stimuli, right? 5 stimulus. Then organism is perceived 2 types of perceived value, and then 1 response is impulsive buying behavior. But in your study, in our study, it's intention, not behavior, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
You try to collect
The
actual data or intention?
Behavior buying. Yeah, I mean
behavior.
the real purchase.
Real purchase, real. Okay, good. Okay, now scroll down to the measurement scale. Okay, here, start here. Many construct only 2 indicators. Really? Wow, very risky.
But actually, there's some of them I got like more, but I just put it 2 here.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so I think I need to add more.
Yeah, need more. I think 3, 4, 5 will be safe, but 2 is too risky. If the reliability is not good, you have to delete at least 1 indicator,
Yeah.
but you cannot run the model. If you have only 1 indicator for construct, okay, so it's very risky. Only 2.
At least more than 3. At least 3.
3 to 5 will be safe, because you have to pass the test of reliability. Yeah. If the reliability is not good, maybe sometimes you will have to delete the indicators. Yeah. So it's very risky. If you only 2. So scroll down. Okay, here. Buy-in, unplanned purchase, spontaneous decision. When you talk about the indicator, actually it's a statement of question. It should be very clear so that respondent or participant can answer your question. But in here, indicated unplanned purchase. I don't know what does it mean.
So the description, like the statement, all of the
Statement indicated means very clear statement in your questionnaire.
I
Yeah.
still write the point here, but not all the statements.
Yeah. Okay, good. So you have to consider that again. And I have remember you have highlight about the perceived value as a multi-dimensional construct, right? In your article. Perceived value, multi-dimensional. I write a keyword here.
Yeah.
Multi-dimensional construct. About perceived value? Yeah, here's something here. Perceived value. Perceived value is a multi-dimensional construct. Do you remember I have explained what is multi-dimensional construct? Do you remember or not? I have explained what is multi-dimensional construct. I have mentioned first order and second order construct before, right? What is second order construct? What is first order construct? Usually, for example, if I just measure the impulse buying intention, suppose I use 3 indicators to measure impulse buying intention. That's a unique dimension, one direction. But multi-dimension is more than one. It means your perceived value should be a second order construct. So the model, if you have multi-dimensional, the model sometimes will be changed, not as you state here in your research model. You want to highlight perceived value is multi-dimensional. In your study, maybe 2 dimension, right? Utilitarian and hedonic, right? So 2 dimension, right? So it's the hedonic utilitarian is first order construct, but perceived value is the second order construct. Got it? So if we want to write the multi-dimensional construct in the smart peers, will be a different approach. Okay. I would like to suggest to put all the questionnaire at the bottom of your paper as appendix.
Appendix, yeah.
Yeah, appendix. So as you mentioned, you will design a Google form to collect data, right? Okay. Good. That's it. Thank you. Good job.
Like for the questionnaires, we characterize they purchase twice per 1 month. How can we because I saw like in 3 different papers, the standard is different, like 3 times in 6 months and others. How can
usually, it's not easy to ask the question for the participant to remember for the past maybe 1 month, not 1 month, 1 week or 2 weeks. Usually, it's not easy to recall, right? So that's why usually we not ask the actual behavior, we ask the intention. You intend to buy or what? That's more easy to deal with for the participant to answer our question. Okay. Okay. Good.
Thank you.
Good job. Okay.
We are from the group 5, consists of Cosette, Yi, and Putri. So our research title about examining the impact of green marketing mix strategies on Gen Z purchasing behavior through green purchase intention as the mediator in Taiwan. Next. So in these recent years, as you know, sustainability has become a central concern across the global consumer markets. And as we know that nowadays, many environmental product has improved from their including the eco-friendly products, sustainable pricing, green distribution, and environmental promotion. According to the Statista 2024, the green consumer goods market exists around 1.5 trillion by 2030, and it reflects the growing demand for sustainable markets. And also in line with the Sustainable Development Goal 12, which promotes the responsible consumption and production patterns. Next. But according to the research from the Chan et al. 2021, we found the gap that although their environmental Although the environmental awareness has been improved, but many express support eco-friendly practice because they don't translate these beliefs into the actual purchasing behavior. But we found that statistic data. Can you scroll up, please? We found the statistic data that according to Nielsen 2024, over 70% of global consumers are willing to change their purchasing habits to reduce environmental impact, and 60% of Gen Z want to take an active role in protecting the environmental. So actually, the gap that we found is there's a gap between their intention to the actual behavior. Next. So in our research, we apply the green marketing mix consists of the green product, green price, green place, and green promotion that guide how companies integrate sustainability into marketing decisions. So for the green products, it emphasizes the eco-friendly from the design, from the materials, how the company or how the product use the eco-friendly design. For the green pricing, it reflects the consumer's willingness to pay. They want to pay more for the sustainability or to buy the eco-friendly product. For the green place, it means that how the product promotes how the products promotes environmental responsible by using what kind of channel, what kind of eco-friendly channel they want to distribute the product. And the green promotion is provide the honest, transparent communicate and also transparent communication to avoid the greenwashing. Next. And for our research subject, we use Taiwan as our research subject because it represents relevant environment to investigate our case. Because according to Taiwan green consumption market, Taiwan has achieved 1.8 trillion NTD in 2023, and driven by the younger customer to increase the eco-friendly products. And next, and I think you know guys that in Family Mart or any supermarket, they already provide the eco-label products such as from the bottle. They have like the circle logo. It means that the bottle can recycle it. So they already apply the sustainable development goals. That's why we choose Taiwanese to be our customer objects. And what we want to expect from our research, we want to offer the valuable insights for the company, how they can improve the sustainability communication, strengthen the green purchase intention to the green purchase behavior. Next. And we summarize our research question. We have three. First, how the green marketing mix consists of green product, green price, and green promotion and green place influence the Gen Z purchase intention in Taiwan directly. Second one, how the green purchase intention significantly affects the green purchase behavior. So it's not only their intention, but how they do the actual behavior to buy the green product. And the last one, does green purchase intention mediate the relationship between green marketing mix elements to the green purchase behavior? And also our research objectives come up from the research question itself. Next.
So next is literature review and hypothesis development. First, we go to the green marketing one. It's a concept that evolved over several decades, and it first appeared in 1976 by Hanian and Kim Min. Its introduction of the term ecological marketing, defining it as marketing activity that not only contribute to environmental problems but also offer remedies for them. And until 1999, Fuller further refined the concept in the sustainable age and defining green marketing as the process of developing, pricing, promoting, and distributing products. And today, with the green marketing mix, we're struggling with green products, price, promotion, and place. Next is the green purchase intention. This is referred to consumer willingness or planned effort to buy environmental friendly product and contribute to sustainability. And we go with the theory of planned behavior to show that the attitude, subjective norm, and perceived behavioral control significantly improves green purchase intention of the consumer. And we choose Generation T in Taiwan to show that green purchase intention is not only an expression of environmental concern, but will reflect in the social influence. And next is the green purchase behavior. It's referred to the actual act of buying product and have minimal adverse effect on the environmental and demonstrate consumer commitment to ecological sustainability by Lee in 2008. And we use the SRR model, as you know about this, is stimulus, organism, and response. And first problem, Habrian and Russell. And we use this for in the green marketing, and green marketing is as green product, green price, green place, and green promotion and the stimulus. And for the organism gonna be the green purchase intention, and for the response is going to be the green purchase behavior. And in our paper, we use the theory planned behavior developed by Action in 1991. We will go to the hypothesis development between green product and green purchase intention. So green product is designed to minimize the environmental harm during production, use, and disposal state. So these products will promote the conservation of natural resources, reduction of pollution, and elimination of toxic material. So there are researches so that the product will affect the intention to buy the product of the consumer. That's why so the hypothesis is green product have a positive effect on green purchase intention. Next one is the green price. It's the practice of setting price for environmentally friendly product that reflect their superior ecological attribute and higher production costs. So when you use some material to to increase the environmental concern, so it's gonna make the cost higher, and this one can affect the intention to buy the product. That's why we propose the hypothesis green price have a positive effect on green purchase intention. Next one is the green promotion. It refer about the marketing communication effort that inform, persuade, and remind consumer about the environmental benefit of product or service. And the research found that these strategies and eco-labeling, green advertising, or public environmental campaign will increasing the consumer environmental awareness and shaping the sustainable behavior. So as we propose the third hypothesis is green promotion have a positive effect on green purchase intention. That is the green place. It's referred to an eco-friendly distribution strategy, and we to ensure the availability of green product at the right time, location, and quantity while minimizing environmental impact. So is this close to the customer or not? Is minimize the effect on the environment, not gonna affect the purchase intention of the customer. That's why we propose a fourth hypothesis: green place have a positive effect on green purchase intention. And the last one is green purchase intention and green purchase behavior. So the green purchase intention plays a crucial role to convert the ecological awareness into actual purchase decision. It means that the purchase intention has directly effect on the purchase decision. And we have the hypothesis is green purchase intention most simply is low green purchase behavior, and this is our research model.
Okay, so for the start of the research methodology, our location of research is will conduct in Taiwan, focusing on Taiwanese consumers who have purchased or shown interest in purchase environmentally green products. And for the population and the research sample is adult Taiwanese consumer aged 18 and above who reside in Taiwan and have experienced purchase or intending to purchase environmentally friendly products. And for the sample, we're going to employ a non-probability purposive sampling technique where respondents are selected based on specific inclusion criteria, and we have several criteria here, like I already mentioned before, and we're gonna have like the range around 220 based on the hair formula. It says that the minimum sample of the research is multiple, but up to 5 to 10 of the indicators. Next. And here's the type and the source. So we employ a So this study employs a quantitative approach which emphasizes numerical data obtained from structured questions. And for data source, we're gonna have two types of the data source. The first one is primary data, we obtain from the Google form that we're gonna distribute to our social media, Facebook, Line, and maybe if it's possible to the university's a dashboard. The second one is the journal books report that serve as a theoretical support for this research. And the data collection method, like I mentioned before, is survey-based quantitative. Okay. And the questionnaire consists of closed-ended question measure using a 5-point Likert scale ranging from 1 is strongly disagree to 5 strongly agree. And here's our operational definition variable and variable measurement. So each variable is measured by the multiple of indicators. Like example, the green products has 4 indicators. The green price has 4 indicators as well. The green promotion has 3 indicators. The green place has 3 indicators as well. The green purchase has 4, and the green purchase behavior has 4 indicators. And for the data analysis, we will try to use JEPS software to analyze the relationship between the variables and for the hypothesis testing. And the first step we're gonna descriptive analysis is like the demographical, the mean and the standard deviation of this research. And the second one we're gonna measure the model assessment is include the Hornbach alpha and composite reliability, also the average variance extracted, and the next one is structural model assessment. So here we're gonna examine either the model is fit to the research or not. And the next one is the mediation analysis. So we're gonna find out here whether the green purchase intention serve as an intermediary variable between green marketing mix and green purchase behavior. And next we're gonna have a normality test, and the last one is hypothesis testing. I think that's all from us.
Do you have any reference?
Yes.
Okay. I'll get back here. Okay, good. Now it's 11, 2 minutes, and let's take 10-minute break. Then we can discuss your report later. For the group 5 research proposal. And okay, I'm still have same suggestion for the group 5. You can combine the research question and research objective. Combine as a paragraph. You can just not a list. You can just combine research question and objective as a paragraph. Maybe you can just use research purpose. Yeah. You can see that maybe a research purpose is to present the influence or how the green product price promotion green place on the Generation Z's purchase intention, something like that. You don't have to highlight in Taiwan. You don't have to highlight that. Of course, in your research, I can find you try to apply at least 2 models. The first one is SOR model, and the next one will be TBB, right? TBB theory. This one, but usually we have to combine because you try to apply 2 theory model to form your hypothesis. You just briefly introduce the theory and then try to combine, integrate as a one. Why you need to apply 2 theory to generate your hypothesis. Because in your model you try to propose a mediation effect for the purchase intention. Let's see your model here. This model. For the theory of TBB is very popular, very famous in the academic field. But you can see the research model here. On the left-hand side is green mix strategies. Right? Green mix strategies. Product, price, promotion, place. Then the intention and behavior will relate to the TBB, I guess. But the traditional TBB, the model will look like this one. I want to show you somewhere here. This is the original model TBB. Original model TBB. We have intention, we have behavior, but on the left-hand side we have attitude, subject known, perceived behavior control. But we adopt TBB, but we just ignore 3 constructs on the left-hand side. I don't know how you explain that, because we want to apply TPP and SOR, try to integrate. So you have to explain why you skip attitude, subject noun, perceived behavior control, something like that. Okay. The hypothesis 5, screen purchase intention, positive influence, screen purchase behavior. Four and 5. But you emphasize we have a mediation or mediator, a screen purchase intention. It's not easy when you try to provide reason for the mediation effect. Of course, we have to explain why X affect Y, why X affect Y at the beginning, right? But that's a direct effect. You try to say X influence Y. For example, this is your behavior, this is your intent. Not this one. This intention, right? But this green strategy. Right? At the beginning, you have to say why green mixed strategy affects behavior. At the beginning, you try to propose a mediation effect. You have to propose there's a relationship between green strategy and behavior at the beginning. But after that, you have to argue that there's a mechanism or black box between green strategy and behavior. That's why we try to explain what is the mechanism or black box between these two concepts, green strategy and by behavior. There is an intention as a mechanism or black box, as a mediator. So we have to say that green strategy affect behavior through intention as a mechanism or black box. So, right? So if you try to propose a mediation effect in your model and the intention is your mediation, you have to think about that one. Population sample. I would like to suggest you try to write the article as a paragraph, not a list. You can see that the sample with just a list, criteria 1, 2, 3, 4. You try to combine the list or rewrite the list as a paragraph. Of course, you can just skip this part, just put it into a paragraph as well. Sample size based on the researcher's suggestion, okay, especially the hair, right? Yeah, hairs, 2019. Yeah, he suggests the minimum questionnaire we need to collect is maybe it's 2020, right? 2020. Data type. It's not very often to see the researcher try to describe data type in article. We just mention the measure or the measurement scale. The data source is where you collect data, but in here you try to emphasize primary data. We have two ways to collect data. The first way is called primary. If there's no data already exists that I can use. So I have to collect by myself. So I have to design a questionnaire. So it's a primary data. But we also mentioned the secondary data. It means the data I will collect and analyze or test hypothesis already exists. I don't have to design questionnaire. This one especially for financial research. People want to collect financial data. For example, the sales, the revenue, or the inventory, right, for a company. The already data maybe you can access from the internet. That's secondary. So if you only use the questionnaire, we don't have to mention the secondary data. So green product, we have 4 indicators. Green price, 4 indicators. Promotion, 3 indicators. Okay, place, 3 indicators. Intention, 4. Okay, 4. Behavior, okay, behavior. So 4 indicators of actual behavior. Let's call a scale. You can just try to use the text. You don't have to use table to describe the Likert scale. 5.9 scale from 1 to 5. 1 strongly disagree, 5 strongly agree. You don't have to make a table for that. Okay. Just get that part. Data analysis. Okay, so far I have a little bit curious. Some text, for example, measurement model looks quite similar to other groups. I don't know why. Just like using the compact alpha and composite reliability in the in the measurement model assessment. I don't know. It's quite similar to other groups. The way to describe it. It's from ChatGPT or not? I'm not sure. Okay. Mediation, fact, okay. Collect the assumption test. Okay. For if we want to report this one called VIF, we will mention VIF, of course, in the topic of moderation effect. In the moderation effect, usually we have to validate the VIF indicators. So that's for collinearity, as you mentioned here. Collinearity means correlation between independent variables. We have more than one independent variables. We like to evaluate the collinearity. It means correlation, relationship between independent variables. Hypothesis testing. Of course, I also want to suggest you to attach your questionnaire at the bottom of your document. So you have to design a questionnaire. Maybe you can design it by using Google Form and then download it as a document, copy and paste into your appendix button. Okay. So also 3 parts, right? The beginning, the research purpose, why you want to conduct this research. Okay. maybe also some declare about the ethical consideration. We won't disclosure any private information. We just report the overall outcome. Okay, that's the first part. The second part will be your measurement scale. In your case, it's a green mix strategy. Yeah, 4, right? 4 variables, and also intention and behavior. Okay, got it? That's the second part. The last part is the demographic variable, gender, educational level, and so on and so forth. Okay, that's for the group 5. Okay, that's group 5.
Thank you, Professor.
You're welcome. I will read your article again after the class. I provide more suggestions next week. I guess that the group 1 want to be volunteers in that group, so please come to here.
So the word engagement is a key driver of organizational success, improving productivity, satisfaction, and retention. So work engagement has become a critical factor we think is a critical factor in organization success, influencing productivity, job satisfaction, and retention rates. As for the CSR, has become a strategic tool to enhance employee motivation and commitment. So from here we know that CSR is an initiative have been widely adopted by organizations as a means to enhance employee commitment and motivation. However, so from this article, we find that on the relationship between CSR and work engagement remain inconsistent, suggesting the need to explore underlying the mechanism. So for the research gap, so the previous studies mainly focus on the directly link between CSR and engagement, neglecting the mediating role of internal communication. So the role of, so a few studies integrate OST and social exchange theory (SET) to explain how CSR and communication jointly influence engagement. So I will not explain a lot for the CSR and the others because we have the literature review. And for the research, for the research question, we have 3 questions. So for the first one is, to what extent does CSR positively affect employees' work engagement both directly and indirectly through internal communication? For the second, does internal communication mediate the relationship between employees' perception of CSR and their work engagement? And for the last one, how strongly does internal communication independently predict work engagement after accounting for CSR, and which internal communication practices are most influential? As for the research objective, we have 3. For the first one is to examine the direct effect of CSR on work engagement. And the second is to investigate the mediating role of internal communication in the relationship between CSR and work engagement. As for the last one, to apply OST organizational support theory to explain the mechanism by which CSR contribute to employee engagement. So for the research perspective, this study integrates OST and SET. As for the OST, explained that when employee perceives strong organizational support through CSR and transparent communication, they become more engaged. As for the SET, suggests that employee reciprocate perceive support with positive attitude and behavior such as higher engagement and internal communication acts as a bridge that conveys organization support, strengthen trust, and reinforces mutual commitment. So for the theoretical and practical relevance, the theoretical is extend OST by identifying internal communication as a mediator linking CSR and engagement. As for the practical, offers a guidance for managers to design CSR and communication strategies that strengthen employee engagement and organization commitment.
Yeah, you read your script, but the screen didn't scroll.
Sorry.
Okay, so the next part will be the literature review part. So I will start with the theory that we use in this paper first. So our paper, we use two theory. The first one is OST, and it's come from organizational support theory. And the second one is SET, or the social exchange theory. So these two theories, actually, they have something in common, but also something different. So we'll start with the OST. So OST is basically explain that if the organization or your company is do something good for the society, or even like treat the employee fairly, the employee will have the positive thinking to the organization and tend to have more work engagement. Or work engagement is mean like they want to do something, or they have the motivation to do their work for the company more. But for the SET, this one is more like how the company treats the employee would do something like that. For example, if the company, they give minus to the employee also will give the minus to the company. But if the company treat the employee fairly, or like they care about the employee health, or they care about the social responsibility, the employee will also like give the positive feedback or the positive things back to the organization as well. So after we know the theory we use, let's look at the first one, which is CSR and work engagement. So start with the CSR. So CSR is corporate social responsibility, or the activity that the company do something good for the social, or like treat the employee fairly, just like I said before. And the work engagement is, I already explained to you guys before, it means that the motivation that the employee want to do something good for the company. So for the previous study, they said that the CSR have the positive engagement to the work engagement, because like if the employees see that their company do something good for the society, they will think that, oh, I'm proud of being part of this company. So they will have the feeling that they want to do something good for the company. But for the next one, which is the internal communication as a mediator, this one is what we want to know, or like Jenny said before, is the research gap. Because the previous study, they only focus on the CSR and it's directly to the work engagement. But for this one, our paper, we want to know that the internal communication, do they play like the crucial roles or the important role in this research? And before explaining this, the internal communication can be including the meeting in the company, one-on-one conversation, or even like the email they send to the employee, something like that. So after we do some research about this one, we find out that there is, even though your company have the good CSR, but the employee will not give their 100 to your company, even though sometimes you got the CSR, because the internal communication is also a very important part. Because even though you have the good reputation, but you don't have the good communication to your employee, they will think that, oh, okay, my company is just doing CSR for their image and it's all fake. So I think this is not real. I don't have to do anything to my company, something like that. So for a conclusion, if you want to boost your work engagement for your employee, you need to have the good CSR and also good inside internal communication. And for the hypothesis and our research model will be explained by Daniel in the next one.
Okay, thank you, V. And the next one for the research design. This research using quantitative causal design. And this is our research design. We have 3 hypotheses during the research design. And go down. And each of variable, they have like CSR, they have 4 indicator, internal communication, they have 3, and then work engagement, please go down, they have 3. Also, and total of the indicator that we use in this research is time. And for this research design, we use a quantitative causal design because we want to examine the cause-effect relationship among CSR, internal communication, and work engagement. And together, the data we use a structured questionnaire and response are captured on Likert time scale, and the data will be analyzed with structural equation model to test direct path and the indirect effect, supported by reliability tests and validity tests. Let's go down. And then for the subject, we use of the study are full-time employees and supervisor of Bank of Taiwan across core units like retail banking, corporate banking, risk or compliance, operations, and support functions. So with this, we know that we use non-probability sampling because we use the purposive sampling with a minimum tenure of 6 months to ensure adequate exposure to internal CSR initiative and related communications, while the objects of the research are the latent variables specified in the causal model employee-oriented. And then next one is the population example. For the population in the study comprised of full-time employees, like I said before, and due to practical constraint, the study employs a subset of the population as the sample selected to be representative so that findings can be generalized to broader employee population. And this is for the complete criteria that we choose. The first one is full-time employment status at Bank of Taiwan, minimum tenure of 6 months, assignment to a unit that regularly receives internal CSR communications, and the last one is willingness to participate anonymously in the survey. And the minimum required sample size follows the rule of 5 until 10 observations per estimated indicator with 10 indicator. So we need, the minimum sample is 50 and the maximum benchmark is 100. And the study targets a sample of 100 respondents to ensure sufficient statistical power for structural equation modeling and validation testing. And then for the methods and data instrument. So data were collected using a structured survey method to obtain the systematic numerical response and align with the study causal model. And for the first section will be the employee-oriented CSR items covering for HR practices, well-being and development, DEI and good workplace practices, plus brand perception items on CSR, and so on. And also for the third variable on work engagement, we use 9 items Utrecht work engagement scale called US9 that consists of figure, dedication, and absorptions. And for the CSR and internal communication item, use a 5-point Likert scale. Like for 1 point is strongly disagree, and to 5 is strongly agree. And while US follow its standard 7-point frequency format, so they already have the count for US indicator. And then go down. And then for the instrument testing, so for every indicator should have minimum 1.70 and than 1.40 considered to remove because the weak contribution. And we also congregate the validity required AVE like it should be more than 1.50 per construct. Discriminant validity was assessed using the Forel-Larkin criterion and HTMT with confidence interval not crossing 1. So for the average variance extracted or AVE, it should be more than 0.50 because it shows more than 50% variance of item can be explained, measured, latent. And then the next one, going down for the validity test. And for the validity test, we use convergent validity to assess by standardized loadings and AVE items with weak loadings were dropped or retained based on the theoretical indispensability and overall AVE or CR sufficiency. And for the discriminant validity, we measure by two approach that we use in Forel-Larkin criteria that we can assess that AVE's square should have the same character, and then we compare to the other character. And then for the common method bias, mitigate progressively, anonymity, proximal separation of measure, mixed item directions, and examine statistically using a full collinearity via IF test, target HLD less than 3.3 and a single factor check. Results were documented. And for the reliability testing, we use Cronbach alpha and composite reliability, were compute for CSR, internal communication, and work engagement. And for the threshold of actually more than 0.70 that indicated acceptable reliability, and more than 0.80 indicates strong internal consistency. So the item total correlation were expected at any item that substantially depressed reliability and lack theoretical necessity was considered for the removal. That's why we prepare each of the variables to the indicator. Next, for the data screening, for the missing data, for the item level missingness was inspected if more than 5% and consistent with MCAR or MAR, expectation, maximization, or mean imputation was applied. And otherwise, moderate missing data handling with some estimation was used. And for the outliers and normality, univariate outliers were screened with standardized score. Multivariate outliers were reviewed when using covariance-based like SEM. Distributional properties were reported and given SM robustness, especially PLS SEM. Normality was handled via bootstrapping. And next, for the data analysis procedure, we do the descriptive statistic measurement model using Forel-Larkin and HTMT. And then for the structural model, we use the hypothesized path CSR in internal communication and work engagement. And we also assess the CSR direct effect to work engagement. And significance was tested with bootstrap standard error of 5.000 until 10.000 every samples, reporting standardized coefficient p-value, and 95% confidence intervals. And this is for the mediation testing, the indirect effect from CSR to work engagement through internal communication was evaluated using bias-corrected bootstrap confidence intervals mediation time, even though it's partial or full, was determined by the significance pattern of direct and indirect path. Next slide. Sorry. Then for the model quality, we explain variance through R-cubic for endogenous construct, predictive relevance, and effect size and model fit indices were reported. And for the decision rules and hypothesis testing, this is the scale that we use for the reliability, validity, path significance, and remediation. And this is our hypothesis based on our research design. The first hypothesis is corporate social responsibility has a positive effect on internal communication. And for the second hypothesis, internal communication has a positive effect on work engagement. And for the third hypothesis, internal communications mediates the relationship between corporate social responsibility and work engagement. And that's all of our work. Thank you.
May I see your reference? Okay, the button. Okay. Okay. Reference. Okay, I can see it. I would like to discuss it. Some issue here, but no, time is limit.
Yeah.
Now it's 11:50. Time is up. So I would like to discuss your report next week.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.